Some things you hear for the first time, you think it's a joke. Like Hyundai saying this SUV can go 826 kilometers, refuels in just 5 minutes. Yes, just 5 minutes. Faster than arguing over whether your RFID card works at a station. The 2026 Hyundai Nexo isn't an ordinary EV. It's an alien in the EV world. It runs on hydrogen. While the rest of the world struggles to find charging points, Nexo quietly refuels. Don't think hydrogen is brand new. Nexo has been around since 2018. But for 2026, Hyundai completely changed the formula. 190 kilowatt output, about 258 horsepower, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.8 seconds, faster than you can hit skip ad. 3 hydrogen tanks, total 6.7 kilograms, travel 826 kilometers WLTP. Just the numbers make it say, Tesla, step aside, I refueled ages ago. But Hyundai doesn't shout the future is here. They quietly bet on a fuel many think is only for rockets. They made an SUV, not a Marvel-style prototype. That's the first H2 punch. Not loud, but enough to make the market look up. If you think it's overhyped, remember this. Hydrogen stations in South Korea are open 24/7. In Europe, you usually have to call ahead. The technology isn't the problem. Where you refuel is the key. The 2026 Nexo is like the most dedicated gym buddy. Strong, clean, efficient. But nobody knows what to feed him besides protein shakes. The technology is top-notch. The infrastructure still catching up. A slight twist to remember, the refueling issue will come back later. If anyone says a future car must look like a spaceship, the 2026 Nexo just smiles. No need to cosplay, my friend. At first glance, the Nexo doesn't scream with LED lights or huge air vents. It chooses traditional SUV proportions. A compact front, smooth body, a tail shaped for airflow. From a distance, you might think it's a Tucson that just finished meditation. The grille is mostly closed now. No need to suck air for a gas engine. Just channel airflow to optimize hydrogen tanks and auxiliary battery. Drag coefficient is just 0.32 CD. Many sedans still dream of that number. Notice this? No extra details. Every cut, every vent serves performance. A true Korean philosophy. Do well, no need to brag. The daylight LED strip is seamless, thin as a laser, mounted high. Main lights sit lower for better illumination and less air drag. Hyundai calls it parametric pixels design. Sounds fancy, but really means pretty and useful. 19-inch wheels tuned for aerodynamics, cover gaps to reduce drag. Paint is bio-based, low VOC. Stand close and you won't smell harsh paint. A subtle jab at brands still struggling with factory emissions. Oddly, Hyundai keeps it approachable as an SUV, not a futuristic cube. If green tech is to go mainstream, it must be easy for the eye. The future doesn't have to be blinding. Sometimes it just needs to look normal enough for people to buy. Remember the gym buddy from before? Here he wears a fitted shirt, not showing off muscles. But everyone can tell, yeah, he works out. That subtlety is the 2026 Nexo design. Not loud, not flashy, but enough to make you pause a few seconds before scrolling down the next video. By now, many people still ask, hydrogen car? Does it burn gas? No, Nexo doesn't burn hydrogen. It converts hydrogen into electricity. Smooth, clean, extremely scientific. If a gas engine is a stove, the fuel cell is a mobile lab. Hydrogen meets oxygen, producing electricity and pure water. Yes, real water. Hyundai even joked you could drink it, but I'd suggest letting the car drink it. The heart of the 2026 Nexo is a new fuel cell stack. 10% smaller, more powerful than the old version. Combined with a 150 kilowatt electric motor, total output 190 kilowatts, about 258 horsepower. Torque is instant. This 1.9-ton SUV hit 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 7.8 seconds. No tire screech, no roar, just wind. Like stepping on the gas and barely noticing. Hyundai fine-tuned 3 composite hydrogen tanks. Each tank handles 700 bar pressure. Each has a safety valve that releases if heat rises. The car won't explode like some online comments imagine. Compared to the Toyota Mirai, Nexo 2026 is superior. Mirai is just a sedan, shorter range, less power. Nexo is an SUV, Higher clearance, can tow a ton. Mirai can only dream. Everything runs smoothly. No gearbox, no revving, no noise. Press the pedal, electricity to motor, motor spins, car moves. Feels like turning on a fan. Instant wind. If EVs are smartphones, Nexo is a walking power bank. Refuel hydrogen, charge itself, keep going. But here's a small twist. Where do you refuel? South Korea, multiple stations. Europe, scattered like 24/7 cafes in small towns. USA, limited spots. Even the gym buddy is still hunting protein. That's the paradox of this technology. The car is ready. The world isn't. And that's what makes Nexo 2026 fascinating. Being ahead of its time means sometimes you go alone. But don't think the Nexo is just a running lab car. It's not. It's a real mobile home, just missing a coffee machine, and it's a space travel studio. Step into the cabin, the first thing you notice is the floating bridge dashboard. Looks like a Star Trek spaceship. A bunch of buttons arranged in an arc. All touch sensitive, only the start button is physical. Probably Hyundai fears drivers hitting the wrong button while adjusting music. In the middle are two 12.3-inch screens, joined together, showing hydrogen maps and a 360-degree camera view. The 2026 model has an augmented HUD, displays turn directions, speed, and collision alerts right on the windshield. The car is both a GPS and a live instructor before your eyes. Seats are wrapped in bio-leather, not from animals, made from castor seeds and sugarcane fibers. Hyundai calls it carbon neutral. I find it as soft as Japanese mochi. Cabin air is controlled by a medical-grade filter, filters PM 2.5 dust and bacteria. Outside may be smoky, inside Nexo is as clean as an operating room. Hyundai also added V2L, vehicle to load. Nexo can power external devices. Go camping, plug in a kettle, laptop, or mini fridge, no problem. Rumor says someone even made hot pot with a Nexo. The car still had enough battery to drive home. Useful tech that most EVs can only dream of. Rear seats, completely flat four, no battery hump like most EVs. Cargo space 461 liters, fold seats up to over 1,400 liters. Anyone who complains green cars are not practical, hop into a Nexo. See if you can find something to hate, except the price. And this leads to the next point we need to talk about. A clean, powerful, convenient, tech-packed SUV, but not guaranteed to sell, because the reason isn't in the car itself. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the hydrogen tank in the garage. No matter how good the Nexo is, it suffers from the common hydrogen car problem: where to refill. In South Korea, hydrogen stations are fairly dense, over 200 points and still expanding. But travel a few thousand kilometers and Nexo instantly becomes a luxury decoration running on faith. In Europe, Germany and Norway have decent infrastructure. But in Spain, Italy, or Poland, you might run hungry, seeing stations like an oasis in the desert. Hydrogen refueling costs are still not eco-friendly. In Europe, a 5 to 6 kilogram tank costs around 60 to 70 euros. You can drive nearly 600 kilometers. Sounds okay, but electric cars spend only a third of that. In other words, Nexo saves the planet by burning the buyer's wallet. Most of the global market doesn't see hydrogen as the near future. Tesla, BYD, Rivian choose lithium batteries. Toyota and Honda have Mirai, Clarity, selling just enough to form a 3-person chat group. The paradox, Hyundai does it too well. The car runs smooth, safe, durable, and tech-packed. Just a shame the game hasn't started. Like the top student arriving 3 hours early. No one else is there. He already finished the exam sitting and waiting. Because of this head start, Hyundai has another advantage: real hydrogen experience, not a showroom model like other brands. By 2027, when the EU cuts heavy transport emissions, Nexo's fuel cell technology could return as a strategic weapon, not just for SUVs, but trucks, ships, and generators too. So don't laugh at Nexo for slow sales. If you've watched sci-fi movies, you know every future hero was once called a weirdo before the world understood them. And we close with the biggest question. Does the Nexo really have a future? Or is it just a hydrogen dream in a lithium battery era?
Honestly, the door is narrow, but it's not closed. Hyundai didn't make Nexo for mass sales. They made it to experiment for the next era, where hydrogen could be cheap and widespread like solar energy today. Sounds far-fetched? Yes, just like in 2010 when anyone said electric cars will replace gasoline. People laughed just the same. 10 years later, Tesla became iconic. Who knows, 10 years from now, Hydrogen Valley could be a household name. Nexo, if you notice, is not just an SUV. It's Hyundai's business card with the future. Sophisticated, smart, humble, slightly ahead of its time. Even if sales haven't hit 20,000 units per year, it's a highly valuable commercial prototype. The car runs real, uses real infrastructure, carries real people. Not a COD file in a showroom. And the competitor? Toyota Mirai, the hydrogen veteran, is quietly aging. Nexo 2026 is the one with the chance to be a true wizard. Lighter, stronger, 4th-gen fuel cell, cabin almost like a concept. Just let Hyundai reduce refueling costs and expand hydrogen stations in Europe and the US. The game could flip. Gen Z and car enthusiasts don't buy just for tech. They buy for experience and identity. So if Hyundai wants Nexo to thrive, they must do what Tesla did. Don't say eco-friendly. Say fast, cool, and clean all at once. The car world is changing. Nexo is one of the few daring to go against the wind. Today, people laugh, but tomorrow, when every kilometer you drive returns oxygen to the planet, Nexo might be the only SUV, literally planting trees in its service record. And then, looking back at today, we'll say, oh, there was a brand that believed in hydrogen when the world was still plugging in. Hyundai Nexo, a car not made for now, but very likely made for the rest of the future.